This is more about life in the time of the coronavirus epidemic, but the time it refers to was at least half a year ago. The epidemic is receding as an illness and as a social, political, and economic factor. And yet, I caught a little of a golf tournament on TV yesterday. I stuck with it for a while because the man leading it was playing so well, birdie after birdie. And when he was done with his round, he had a 6-shot lead on the field going into the final round. Then he was tested for COVID-19 and he came up positive. So he was bounced from the tournament. Wild and seemingly the coronavirus's last stand. Time has passed, and I'm seriously thinking that it might be time for Samuel Pepys to write an end to this journal. Yes, they still report daily numbers, so people are still getting sick, and I suppose they are also dying. But the world I see gives no evidence of this. I see sporting events on TV, the golf, basketball, and baseball, and the stands are filled with fans and no masks. I do see some people wearing a mask, but many do not, and I can't recall the last time I put one on. I got vaccinated, and they say I don't need to wear a mask. Now the cicadas, that's a different story. They are everywhere, that swollen buzzing choir in the trees, the clumsy fluttering flights. They're a bother, but not the coronavirus. The PM is still shooting for 70% of the population vaccinated, and that will probably happen eventually with all of the incentives that have been provided. And he will crow about that. It allows him to avoid the economy, the immigration at the southern border, the ransomware attacks. You go, Mr. Vaccine. So the virus stays in the news, but I would say that now it no longer is the news. It's a vestige. Airline flights are booming. Cruise ships are filling up. People are gathering in whatever numbers they want with no masks. It's over. The sole remaining warning about the virus that I hear is about a variant called Delta, supposedly the one causing all the trouble in India. But I have also heard that if you have had both shots, the variant should not pose a problem. All of this is hearsay, but then I have been living with hearsay and nothing but hearsay for well over a year. By the way, it should be say here, logically. The cicadas are not only here, where I live, they are also in Washington, D.C. And yesterday, on his way to a helicopter, the PM was hit or buzzed by a cicada. In the media reports, it was said that the cicada attacked the president. How funny is that? I'll tell you, it's hilarious. President attacked by bug. Man bites dog. It is mid-June, and I really do think the epidemic is over. The field mouse and his compatriots no longer run the numbers at us every day. Now, not at all. There are no public restrictions that I'm aware of. We haven't worn our masks in well over a week, more like 2 weeks. My partner is back in her mosaic class and also doing yoga. So what was the epidemic? I'm inclined to say that it was a great big official ado over very little, like when the fire trucks and emergency vehicles raced by, sirens blaring, lights flashing, to rescue a cat in a tree. Every year so many people die of the flu. This year, that many, maybe a few more, died of the coronavirus. It was a cat in a tree. I know it was bad for some. It scared us all. But for me, Samuel Pepys, and those around me, several of whom did get the virus, but did not suffer ill effects too badly, for us, this was a long, confusing period in which most everything was set aside as a precaution, and that delay itself was the major impact of the epidemic, social and economic, not so much with health. We erred on the side of caution, and it was a big error, a huge error. All the reports were about health, about sickness and dying, but we did not experience that, not to that crisis level. And now those reports and the fear they generated, and boy did the field mouse ever play up those fears, now they are over. For the field mouse, the virus was a tiger in a tree. So I guess my reports are over too. Unless something wholly unexpected comes along, this is Samuel Pepys reporting in the year 1 CE, signing off, over and out. Unless it isn't over. Maybe there's still a joker up a sleeve out there.